And then some people have mentioned, if you take too much fried food, if you eat too much saturated fats and things like that.
It's obesity. We are getting too fat. We are getting too fat. I mean, if you look around Lagos now, you see very, very, very obese people. It's one of the...
But some people are not obese, yet they have cancer.
Yes, but then, everything, you just look the majority, not... yes, they have cancer, but then you find out that it's more, the risk is higher in, just like other non-communicable diseases, hypertension, diabetes. There are people that are very slim, they have hypertension. And then there are people that are also very fat, and, they don't have hypertension. But I think our lifestyle is very, very, very important.
Okay, let me quickly go to this statistics from the World Health Organization saying that of all the deaths in males now, 30.4% of it is due to cancer, and it's different ones. We have the prostate cancer, which is high up on the list. We have liver cancer, lymphomas, mouth, and for men. For women, breast cancer is on top. Then cervical cancer, liver cancer. All of these cancers, they, as you said earlier, they have different predispositions. Now, let's talk about cervical cancer. What is the predisposition for cervical cancer?
Cervical cancer, the exciting thing about cervical cancer is that for once, they found the cause of this disease. And that is the human papilloma virus. That if you don't have that virus on your cervix, you won't have cervical cancer. So about 99.7% of women that have cervical cancer, you take the tissue, the cervical cancer tissue, and you analyze it, you see DNA. HPV DNA in that cervical tissue.
That is human papilloma
virus okay. DNA. So there's a lot of excitement all over that. Well, we found one cause of a disease that has been killing a lot of women, especially in the less developed country. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of excitement, and also that now there's a vaccine for cervical cancer.
Okay, I wanted us to narrow it down to cervical cancer because of some of these factors you mentioned. This is one of the cancers that if you go and check yourself, you can pick it or be sure, okay, it's not there. Once it's not there, you can continue to live, that kind of lifestyle that's taking you to where you are. And then there is vaccination. Yeah. So tell us first, what are the predisposition, the factors for cervical cancer?
Well, what the factors is, what are the factors for HPV acquisition?
Okay.
Because you have to acquire the HPV. And then what are the factors that will modulate the oncogenic, the cancer, forming ability of HPV? Okay? So what are the risk factors, for predisposing factors for the acquisition? And that is, it's a sexually transmitted infection. We all know that.
So it has to do with...
Many women will get it. Many women, once you get it. But then most of us are going to clear our infections by the time we are 30. So only a few women that have the persistent infection of the high-risk type of the HPV may develop, I would say may, not will, may develop cervical cancer. Now, there are some risk factors, we call them cofactors, that will modulate, that will help the HPV to, bring out its cancer-forming effect. It's just like HPV is like a seed. You throw the seed, if you are sowing, you throw some seed into out there on fertile soil, it germinates. And then if you throw it in a very dry soil, it doesn't germinate. So there are some factors that are called, these are the germinating, that help the HPV to show its,
Because I was just thinking,
yes.
If some women can clear the infection
yes.
out, why will others retain it?
Yes.
Is it about immunity?
That's there's a little bit of genetic here, but a lot of research is going on. But then those that do retain it, if you have had so many children, if you are immunosuppressed, like you have HIV, if you have other infections, like other sexually transmitted infection, if you started having your babies at a very early age. So these are all some of the factors that will modulate, that will enhance the cancer-forming effect of HPV.
What about multiple sexual partners? Does it play a role?
No, I think we should, like I keep on telling people that a woman can catch HPV just by one partner on her matrimony bed. I mean, it's not more, yes, it's one of the risk factors, but we shouldn't pin it on women that, oh, you have cervical cancer because you had multiple sexual partners. It's one of these factors, but then we shouldn't bring it in because HPV can be acquired just by one sexual act. You can acquire that infection, just like HIV. You see, some women just had only their husbands and that's it. So I think that, saying multiple sexual partner, the multiple sexual partner, how it comes in is that when you have multiple sexual partner, your chances of acquiring the HPV infection
becomes higher.
So that is one of the factors that increases the acquisition of your HPV infection.
Okay, now, are there symptoms? Because I've heard several times, by the time you see symptoms, a lot of damage may have been done.
Yeah, I would like to correct something then. When people go for screening, they don't go for screening to detect cervical cancer. Cervical cancer has a pre-cancer stage. That is, there's a stage, you get the infection, the HPV infection, you have the pre-cancer stage. That pre-cancer stage, it hasn't developed into cancer itself. And that one can be treated, can be detected with the screening.
Okay, so let's just hold on to that pre-cancer stage.
Yeah.
When we come back, you talk more about that. We'll take a quick break on Health Matters. You have the opportunity to join us in the conversation after this break.